Hello, board members and members of the public. We appreciate the opportunity to provide an equity update for the Sun Prairie AVID program and look forward to joining you in person at the board meeting on May 22nd. I'm Katie Jansen, the AVID district coordinator, and I support the AVID implementation of the AVID elective in grades 7 through 12 and school-wide AVID at the secondary sites. Next, the other members of our AVID team joining us today will also briefly introduce themselves and their role in the district.
Hi, I'm Sarah Chaya Clarity. I am our Director of Secondary Teaching, Learning, and Equity, and very honored to be able to be here and explain to our community how we deeply view AVID as an equity strategy for all of our students across grades 6 through 12. Rebecca?
My name is Rebecca Griffin, and I'm an AVID teacher and coordinator at Sun Prairie West High School. Craig?
Rebecca. My name is Craig Brandel. I'm the AVID elective teacher and coordinator at Prairie View Middle School. Go Falcons. And forward on to what we're going to go over for our AVID presentation.
All right, and here is an overview of what we will cover in our presentation today. We'd like to begin by grounding our time together and connecting AVID and the board's equity statement, both of which are committed to challenging systemic inequities and changing outcomes for our historically marginalized populations. Rebecca?
The AVID system's mission is to close the opportunity gap by preparing all students for career and college readiness and success in a global society, which aligns right with Sun Prairie's commitment to equity. AVID itself stands for Advancement via Individual Determination, or sometimes we like to say, moving up through your own hard work. The AVID system has two components. The first component is AVID school-wide, which supports all students in grades 6 through 12 through rigorous instruction that's embedded in their classes. The second component is for the AVID elective, which is for students to take a course that are identified as students being in the academic middle and who are underrepresented in higher education. The next two slides provide a little bit more information about the AVID elective course and a profile of an AVID elective student. We're now going to take a look back on how AVID started in Sun Prairie and how it's expanded since then. AVID in Sun Prairie was started in 2011 with just 24 8th grade students. And today we have over 600 AVID students in grades 7 through 12. Our 6 graduating classes had 100% of our graduates accepted into a 2- or 4-year college and had collectively earned millions of dollars in scholarship money. Katie?
As Rebecca mentioned, the AVID elective has grown quite a bit since 2011. In fact, 16% of our current secondary student population is in the AVID elective. Here we break down the demographics within our secondary student body and the AVID program. When unpacking this information, I'd also like to note that we've used our past demographic data and trends to place an intentional focus this year and moving forward on recruiting and enrolling even more students with disabilities and students who are multilingual in the AVID elective. This slide and the following slide demonstrate our projected AVID elective section growth over the next 5 or so years. This year, there was an increase of sections at the middle level. Therefore, you will see the growth of the AVID elective expand upward, adding sections to our high school through the 26-27 school year, and then stabilizing at 6 sections per grade level after that. In doing so, we are able to provide more support for students to access rigorous coursework and more opportunities to change outcomes for our AVID scholars. Next, Craig will share some components of AVID.
Thanks, Katie. We mentioned before about 2 components. One is the AVID school-wide, which talks about the grades 6 through 12 versus the AVID elective. And we'll go into depth a little bit more about what that means in regards to the word WICR. WICR stands for Writing, Inquiry, Collaboration, Organization, and Reading, kind of refining what those tasks are school-wide in all components so that all quality instruction and strategies receive the opportunity from multiple students within a school day that might be incorporated. Part of the AVID elective is taking those skills and having students be involved more. It could be soft skills of speaking in front of students. They present the problem that they want to bring to a tutorial, and then the other soft skill of how do I ask questions in order to support that student to get them unstuck or to dive deeper into what perspectives may or may not have been shown from the original presentation. Part of the opportunity gap is just making sure that there's different opportunities for AVID elective students. It could be in regards to visiting college campuses and seeing them fit onto that scenario later on in their college or career pathway, or even providing the opportunity to discuss how they might go and have that opportunity be funded when they go down the pathway and they're in senior year and they're figuring out what to do next. We like to talk about the AVID elective as more of a I'm not finished. It's not an I class, it's we are finished. And how can we support each other as they grow from AVID 7 students all the way up to AVID 12. In regards to that, we'll go through and hand it off to Katie.
And here we'll talk about the investment and support the district has in AVID. Here you can see that we have AVID specific roles and teams from an AVID district director and coordinator positions, elective teachers and coaches, and then even school-based site teams and leadership teams. In AVID, there are 3 major components, and here I'd like to emphasize the third component, which is the highest quality training and resources that we offer our school staff. Opportunities for that professional development are listed here, but one I'd like to highlight is AVID Summer Institute. Each year we send a team from each school to Summer Institute. This year we'll have 41 total staff members attending Summer Institute in July. And over time, our goal is to ensure that 60% or more of our staff are formally AVID trained. And Sarah will talk more about AVID and our district's instructional framework.
Thanks, Katie. So as you have heard, we have over the past several years really gone deep and wide with AVID programming, both in terms of the AVID elective and that expansion, as well as AVID school-wide. But where we're kind of rounding the corner is towards more and more coherence across our district. And in viewing how AVID aligns to our instructional framework, we really see this in the area of rigorous and coherent teaching. And so if you are so called, I would invite you to please pause the video, go to the slide deck, and you can actually click into that live link there, which will take you into a bigger PDF that will allow you to see this rigorous and coherent teaching practice profile, as we call it. Essentially, what we're going to be working on next year, we're still shaping our plans across all of our middle schools and high schools, but what we're working towards for next year is a more intentional focus and alignment across all of our secondary schools. In terms of organization, one of the Wicker strategies that Craig was speaking to earlier, working toward having universal, rigorous and coherent teaching lesson plans, so a lesson framework that's consistent across our individual sections in our sites, and then having a universal secondary practice professional goal, which means the goal that an educator would set for themselves to grow in across the year. And so that's where we're looking to move in 23-24. Craig?
But you don't need to hear from us as adults how the impact has changed the program in Sunbury. You can go through and listen to several testimonials from middle school and high school students. And Katie, take it away.
All right, again, thanks for the opportunity. We appreciate your time and look forward to attending the upcoming board meeting. And we look forward to answering any questions you have at that time. If you have any questions in the meantime, please reach out. We've provided our contact information on the final slide. See you soon.